Okay, so deck profile. I like to call this deck either RescueGolem or RockRush. First two cards are Rescue Rabbit. Run 2 Rescue Rabbit because it's Rescue Rabbit, and then the cards you search with them are Betas, the Magnet Warrior, or Alpha, the Magnet Warrior. They're just my normal monsters of preference. I chose the alphas because they're below 1500, so safe from bottomless, and then I chose the betas because they're one of the strongest rock type normal monsters. And then after that is Revival Golem. Pretty good card. When it's sent from the deck to the graveyard, you can either add it to your hand or special summon it. You can only use the effect once per turn. And then Goblin Bird, just for speed and to help with that first turn Shockmaster with Rescue Rabbit. And there's my Morphing Jars. My Morphing Jars actually help me empty my hand to put more rock types in the grave, or just for a fresh hand. And my Morphing Jars number 2s are just annoying if you do know the effect. And then there's Neospatian Grandmo, one of the best rock cards in the game. And then continuing, 3 Block Golems, because Block Golem, broken as fuck. Just nobody uses it so much for some reason. Rocks aren't that popular to many people. And then 3 Gigantes. These are like my heavy storms. Easy to put out there. Just gotta banish 1 rock type monster. He gets put out there and you have a 19 hitter and a special summon. Important. Very important. Not to the spells. Spells. First spell I have to show is Catapult Zone. If one of your monsters were to be destroyed by battle, you could send a rock type monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. And then the triple MST, because it's triple MST. I like my 1 gold ghost rare. Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn. Card Destruction, just to get more rocks in the grave. Mind Control, because it's Mind Control. Heavy Storm, because it's Heavy Storm. And Dark Hole, because it's Dark Hole. And Pot of Avarice, because you got a lot of monsters in this deck. Rock Bombardment for Revival Golem. It's just I didn't want to run the Terraformings because they're dead draws, and the Rock Bombardment lets me special summon on my opponent's turn. It saves me a lot of life point cost because I can use it to search out Revival Golem and just splash it on the field, and your opponent takes 500. You can just send it straight from the deck to the graveyard, and your opponent takes 500, and you just got a free special summon. And then Release from the Stone, I only run 2. 3 is an option. Depending on what your opponent runs, you might want to change it to 3. But I just wanted 2 for consistency reasons. And a lot of times if you want to banish a rock type monster, usually what I'll get banished is my Gemini Pro, just so I can smack it back on the field with my Release from the Stone. And a lot of people will bottomless Gemini Pro if they do not know about Release from the Stone. And then 2 Call of the Haunted. And then Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, and Compulse. Compulse is just there just for that once in a while I'm going to be a dick and compulse your monster. And then Mirror Force and Torrential just because sometimes you'll get stuck. Now that's it. But now onto the extra deck. Extra deck. There's actually 2 Gemini Pearls. 2 Gemini Pearls. 26 rock type monsters, so you can use Release from the Stone on them, and they're very easy to just put out there. They're nice because they go over 25 so easily. So that's Gemini Pearl. And then there's Giant Soldier of Steel, 2 rock type monsters, 3 stars. To summon him, he can detach 1 to raise its defense to 3,000, and also you take no effect damage that turn, and he cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effect. So it's kind of like a stall tactic if you're in a bad position. There's 2 Kachikochi Dragons. This card is just so you can apply pressure. Your opponent sets a face down. You just Kachikochi, destroy it, send it to the graveyard, and then attack again once in a row. Shark Drake because he's just awesome. Along with Shockmaster, those 4 rank XZs that require 3 level 4 monsters. Shockmaster, just Shockmaster. There's Gaga Cowboy. Gaga Cowboy, just so you can hit for that 800 damage, or you can smack over the gores. Soul of Silver Mountain. I don't really, when I play this deck, I don't really use it that much. It's only an 1800 attack, and but when you do summon it, you can detach one XZ material to target 1 set card your opponent has on the field and cannot be activated until this card leaves the field. And also, if this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can detach another XZ material, and you can special summon an Earth type monster from your from your graveyard to the field. And then there's Levier, just the special summon. There's Zenmains to stall and pop. Merzum, the string, to climb over the 3,000 again. Fairy King Albervic, or Alberdick, whatever you want to call it.
Adverse Dick.
Fairy King Dick, how about that? But he's just to weaken your opponent's monsters, just so some of your monsters can climb over his. Photon Papal Operative for those people who like using Marshmallow and stalling on you, or Spirit Reaper for that matter. And then wind up Zen Maester. If you waste your hand too quickly, you can just splash Morphing Jar onto the field and use his effect again just to get a hand back, because you do run out of hand fairly quick with this deck, but you always have moves, and usually there's not very many cards that you'll not just pull and be able to play on the field. So that's the extra deck. One thing I want to point out is that there's a lot of Earth type XZs in here because of Block Golem's effect, and Block Golem's effect is you can tribute him as long as you have all Earth types in your grave. You can tribute it to special summon 2 rock type monsters from your graveyard. You could special summon 2 rock type monsters from your graveyard that are level 4 or lower, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to be the same. They don't have to be normal. They're just any 2 level 4 or lower monsters that are rock type and essentially Earth. And then you'll be able to just overlay like crazy. And you can use this effect as many times as you want in one turn, but you cannot bring Block Golem out with Block Golem. Last thing, side deck. A side deck, what I like siding is Blackhorn of Heavens, because like this deck, if I played a deck that was just similar to mine, I'd splash in the Blackhorn of Heaven like crazy, because oh look, he overlaid Blackhorn of Heaven. Oh look, he overlaid Blackhorn of Heaven. No cost, ruins the special summon, just perfect to go against this deck. I side 2 Naturia Cosmo Beats, because I also side 4 Synchro monsters that I throw in from time to time, just to kind of lock the opponent down a bit. There's Scrap Dragon, because essentially the deck doesn't really pop very often, and it makes it difficult to get over some things like that sometimes. And then Naturia Barkion, because he can negate traps, and Naturia Beast, because he can negate spells, just to screw the opponent over. If it's a heavy spell deck, like a spellcaster deck or something like that, it'd be really easy to just stop your opponent with Naturia Beast.
Dark Roads.
And then Mistworm, just because Mistworm can just ruin a lot of plays for people. It just ruins plays for people. And then there's Debunks, because a lot of people like working off the grave, like me. And also a lot of people like working off of hand traps. Hand traps will screw you over. Someone tries to Veiler you, you know what you do? You debunk and banish it. So they can't banish it from the grave for a BLS or a Chaos Sorcerer, because they're annoying. 2 bottomlesses, because I would run 3, but it's bottomless and it's semi-limited. It's just a good anti-meta. And then an extra Compulse just to be annoying sometimes. I like Compulse just to be annoying. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the entire deck profile. And I have fun with it. On Dueling Network, and for the most part of everybody I've faced, they have a difficult time with this deck. The only thing that really annoys me sometimes is Gravekeepers, but who does Gravekeepers annoy? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't flip me off. Don't flip off the camera.